All right, good morning. So I had a lot of you asking about this video. A lot of you wanted this video to get done. So I decided to do this video. No, seriously. A lot of my friends and people on Instagram asked me about sleep training. So I decided to do a quick video about it. I'm not a doctor, clearly, but I do have some knowledge as a mom. Again, this may not work for your baby. It may work. But I wanted to share my tips on how I got Gia to go in her own bed at a reasonable time and all the way through the night. Now, I am going to do my makeup as I do this because I have somewhere to go today. So bear with me. So Gia wasn't a baby that slept through the night. She only started sleeping through the night as a toddler. And the reason why she started sleeping through the night as a toddler is because someone called me out on my shit. A friend of mine. So prior to Gia sleeping through the night, we weren't a routine family because our lifestyles were not traditional. I'm a stay-at-home mom currently, and Damien is a chef/business owner. So if you know the industry life, they work really, really late. So I would have Gia staying up with me, waiting for Dame so that she at least got to see her dad, because in the morning time he would be sleeping by the time we left for the day, because just because you're a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean you're just home all day. FYI. I'm gonna use my foundation. So, yeah, and I didn't feel guilty about it because I was like, how else is she gonna see her dad, right? If she doesn't stay up. And she had been sleeping in her own crib relatively somewhat, but she would wake up a lot through the night. Like a lot, like 2 or 3 times. More than your average for a toddler. So she would sleep in her own crib, in her own bedroom, but she would wake up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., sometimes, 1 a.m. And Damien will wake up out of his sleep and go pick her up out of her crib and bring her back to our bed. And then I stopped nighttime nursing. I was still nursing, but only during the day. I stopped nighttime nursing. And she would just go back to sleep, but have to be, like, with us. So eventually, my back started to hurt because if you ever sleep with a kid, they literally are the tiniest humans that take up the most space. They spread themselves with their arms here. If you move to the side, they want to get a little closer to you. Like, it's really serious. And this is somebody that's 2. So my back was just killing me, but I was just kind of thugging it out and not complaining. And it was like, oh, this is normal, right? And I was waking up multiple times a night to, like, comfort her. And I was like, but this is normal. Like, no baby sleeps through the night. Maybe some babies do, but it's very normal for babies more to likely not do it. And I did not believe in sleep training. Disclaimer, I don't judge parents that do it. I personally can't imagine doing it. And if you don't know what sleep training is, basically, it's letting your baby, or I don't believe in crying it out, because technically I sleep train, but I don't believe in crying out. And if people don't know what the cry it out method is, it's basically when you allow your baby to cry until they self-soothe themselves back to sleep. I never did it to Gia as a baby because I'm like, she's a tiny human and she's barely been on this earth for a year. Why would I assume that she can self-soothe? And I just couldn't personally do it. Again, don't judge other mothers that do it, but I personally can't. So I kind of just suffered, which in the end made us both suffer, especially me, because I was always tired, exhausted, depressed, like, just the whole nines. Anyways, so one day I saw a meme about, it was like a joke, like, oh, your baby sleeps through the night, oh, good for you. And I was like, wow, this is so relatable. Let me repost. That's usually how you repost memes on Facebook, correct? So I reposted a meme, and like everyone's agreeing with me, and they're like, word, my baby never sleeps through the night. And I'm like, oh, again, just like saying what I knew was true already. Then one of my friends comes through, my Canadian friends, who I've known for a while, and has a baby a little bit younger than my baby, who also is a nurse. Keep this in mind. This is very important. I'm not just saying this for my health. And she comes in my post and she's like, well, technically, babies are not born to know how to sleep through the night. You have to train them to sleep through the night. So, of course, they don't sleep through the night because they're new on this earth. They don't know how. She's like, but there are gentle ways to train a baby to sleep through the night. And then I was like, okay. Like, I didn't agree with her because I didn't know the knowledge and I wasn't knowledgeable. I was ignorant on that topic. So I couldn't disagree and I couldn't agree. I was ignorant on that topic. In case people don't know, the word ignorant literally means lack of knowledge. It's not a negative word, but for some reason, certain people get really offended by the word ignorant, but not me. Anyways, so she started talking about how her baby sleeps from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, she sleeps from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. First of all, how you getting your baby to go to bed that early? And second of all, I'm like, straight? Like, they wake up? She goes, no. And she takes a nap during the day. Then she starts to drop that knowledge about how babies are supposed to get 12 to 14 hours of sleep, including toddlers, to function. And that the primary sleep that's the most important is bedtime sleep. So she knows about Damien's job, obviously, because she's my friend too. And she's like, I know that this is a hard time because you don't want to miss certain parts of your baby's childhood. And like, this is just what being a parent is about. But it's detrimental to her growth and development, her mood. And, you know, it's just, it's time that he's missing now that he'll get back eventually later. That we'll get back later. So, as anything, when someone gives me new information on something that I was ignorant to or that I needed to learn about, I took what she said, I applied my own research, come to find out she was correct. So, I started to try to figure out a nighttime routine for Gia that would have her exhausted through the day, by the end of the day, while still taking her nap. And, you know, that would help her sleep really long. So I say this to say, before you get defensive, because I could have easily been like, mind your business, bitch, that's my baby, or whatever like that. Before you just get defensive, do your own research. Listen to what a mother that may know something about something that you don't know about. Listen to what she's saying. Take heed. Take everything with a grain of salt. Do your own research and to decide if that thing is best for you and your family. If that's the safest and most efficient thing for your baby. And that's what I did. So that's the thing about being a new mother or a mother in general, whether it's new or old. You are not exempt from learning knowledge. So I wasn't knowledgeable on that. I'm knowledgeable on a lot of other things about parenting, but it wasn't that. And I listened to what she said, applied my own research, and then realized that I needed to make a change for my baby and not me. Ego goes out the door when you're a parent, and people need to learn that. Like, that's a big thing that I'm learning, or that I felt like I already learned. Ooh, hide these bags. Hide your wife, hide your kids, hide these bags. Anyways, so I immediately started to switch gear. I would try to tire Gia out as much as possible. She still took a nap. I was never going to take away her nap because naps are very important to toddlers. Up until like age 4, I believe. This is not a fake thing. My best friend is a preschool teacher, and she can share articles and tell you why it's important, but toddlers need nap just as much as like babies do. And I wasn't like letting her lose that nap. So she still took a nap. Then she still took a late nap. So she would wake up around maybe 4 or 5, which made me nervous because I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to get her down for 8? She took a late nap. And then we would be home from work because I was doing some like part-time nannying or whatever. We would be home from work and it would be around 4:35. She would still be sleeping. I would start to get her dinner like ready. Whatever meal we were making, I always usually cooked at home. So I would get her dinner ready. Then by the time she woke up, she was ready to eat. That's always on my kid's mind. So I would put her in her chair, give her her dinner, let her eat by herself. We do baby led weaning, which allows kids to figure out how much they want to eat. Let them take their time. You know, we would have a little screen time. watch TV together. And then after she ate, it would be maybe, what, 6:37. She would usually be pretty disgusting. So we would go, I would give her a nice warm bath, let her play in the tub, like at least for 15 to 20 minutes, let her play in the water to tire herself out, take her out. I would give her a rub down with either shea butter, coconut oil, whatever we were feeling, rub her body down, put on her fresh diaper, her jammies, so she understood the routine. She's like, oh, eat bath jammies, eat bath jammies. Then I would let her pick out one of her favorite books, sit in her rocking chair, and I would read her 2 books, only 2. She would try to ask for more books to try to get out of bedtime, but I'm like, we don't do that, like, you know, only 2 books. So I would read her 2 books, and then I would go, okay, you ready for night-night? She would go, no, and I would go, but we're going night-night. I turn on the sound machine. I usually do rain, the sound of rain, or ocean, or heartbeat. I feel like she likes the heartbeat the best because that reminds her of my closeness. You got to find what your baby likes, but that just really worked for my baby, heartbeat. She loves the heartbeat sound. I would rock her in her rocking chair. Remember, I stopped nursing her at night at this point. I would rock her in her rocking chair with the lights all the way off, no phone. Keep your phone in a different room or turn it down with the lights low, but do not text on your phone. Do not play on your phone, no phone. Trust me, it's a distraction. They see that light, they'll pop right back up. I know it's hard for some of us, but no phone. So I would put my phone off or down or in another room, turn off all the lights in the bedroom, and then I would rock her in a rocking chair. Just rock her. You can stand up and rock. You kind of got to get the rhythm of what your baby likes. My baby liked to be really close to me and rock in a chair. So that's what I did for her. I rocked in a chair. Ooh, sorry, I gotta get some powder. So after I noticed her eyes would start to drift. And I would wait until she was completely knocked out before I put her inside her crib. And I would lay her down, put a blanket over her, and then leave, and then watch the nanny cam in case she was still awake to see if she was like, you know, trying to climb out or anything like that. Or wilding, just that she was safe. I would watch the nanny cam. Ooh, need to set this powder so that my little lines don't settle. Sorry, you can't talk while you do this too much. So eventually, I would do that routine straight. And I would do it around the same time. I made sure that we didn't have to go anywhere where we were like, where we were out of routine. Like, I'm not going anywhere to hang out late at night if I know my kid wakes or goes to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock. So if you have like a birthday party, a kid's birthday party and it ends late, or a baby shower or something like that, and you end late, I can't come because that's not the routine that my child is used to any longer. So it's very important. It's a lot of sacrifice. And honestly, baby shouldn't really be out that late anyway. So that was the sacrifice that I had to make. She started to sleep through the night. It was less and less of waking up. And I basically hit up my friend who told me at the beginning. And I was like, yo, thank you for putting me on. Thank you for letting me know about myself. I appreciate that you cared enough about my kid to tell me that what I was doing wasn't correct. And thank you for allowing me to be receptive to that information you shared. Not everybody's receptive to information. That's why it's really hard to share information, because mothers are always on an ego trip or they feel guilty. You know what I mean? But I was like, I don't have time for this. I need to figure out what the best move is. Now, the next step that everybody wanted to know about was, how did I get Gia to self-soothe and put herself to sleep? Now, that part is tricky. My best friend, who's a preschool teacher, I talked about her again, Binta. Hey, Binta. Anyways, she told me that her students, when she would go to nap time, would have trouble sometimes go in to sleep. But imagine like 20 students and you're trying to put them all to sleep. Like, you can't self-soothe and hold every one of them. Or you can't soothe and hold every one of them. They have to realize they need to self-soothe. So she's like, you know, just start putting her in her crib. Maybe staying there with her, but not rocking her, just talking to her. Rub her back if she likes, because that can be a nice thing you can do. But don't, like, get in the crib to get her to sleep. I was doing that at one point. Like, you need to, like, put your foot down and let her figure it out. So I was like, you're right. I'm the parent. She's not. I should be the one that has the control. So I started to put her in her crib. She would cry, and I would let her cry. Not cry it out, because by this time she was literally exhausted. So her cries were like, no, I still want you to be here, but I'm exhausted. How do I get you to stay? Do I just cry a little bit and you stay? So she cried for maybe 5 minutes tops and would knock out. And I had the nanny cam, so I would always still watch her to make sure that she was safe. So it's basically me laying her in her crib, waiting for her to fall asleep. Sometimes I would stand there, then I would walk out the room. But I learned that language was very important to her. So I kept saying, okay, night-night, baby. I love you. We're going to sleep now. And she would be like, oh, okay, night-night, mommy, or bye, mommy. And my kid actually understands language very well. She's very verbal. So she would understand what I was telling her. So I'm like, okay, bedtime, night-night. All right, time to sleep. No, Gia, lay down. Okay. And eventually she just started to fluff a pillow and tuck herself in. But this wasn't overnight. This took time and time of me being very verbal and communicating to her every step of the way of what was going on. Me having a strict routine for at least a month. And then it took her figuring out that, oh, I can just put myself to bed. So now we're at the point when she's so tired, she says to me, mommy, night-night now. Which means that she wants to go to bed. So I would be like, oh, that was easy. And just literally lay her in her crib. Still at the same time that she always goes to bed. So like even today, she woke up at 8 right after I got out the shower. And she went right back to sleep. But she's in the bed with Dad just because I had to do this video. But she, again, just slept 11 hours. It's just wild to me that I didn't know that she can sleep this long. And it took me so long to figure it out. I wish that I would have did my research on sleep training or sleep training from the beginning. I could have saved us both a lot of tears and, you know, things like that. So anyways, if you have any more questions on it, you can just like let me know. Now, I also want to just put out there that this won't, not that this won't work on babies. It could work on babies, but I know that if you breastfed a baby, like if you have a breastfed baby, like my baby was a breastfed baby, they don't really sleep through the night no matter what. Like she didn't start sleeping through the night until I stopped nursing her at night. So if you have a breastfed baby, it may be a little harder because they actually do need, especially if they're under a year, they definitely do need to nighttime nurse if they're not, like if that's what they're used to, because that's a meal for them. Babies should have formula or breast milk only, basically. Like food is complementary, but basically for a year. That should be their primary source of food. So if you're a breastfeeding mom and you're still co-sleeping, meaning like in the same room or bed, and your baby's still waking up at night, that's pretty normal, and I really don't have any advice for you. And it's not a bad thing. It just means that your kid is not up to that ready for that next step of transitioning into their own bed. Like, they're still a baby. And also, like I said, this may not work on every baby, but I think the key to it is routine and staying consistent and not feeling upset when your baby doesn't do what you think your baby should do, because again, they haven't been on this earth for that long. Give them a break. Are they always going to sleep through the night? Probably not. I'm sure there'll be a time when Gia feels like being in our bed or waking up. You never know. But is it a routine for us, and does she do it 90% of the time? Sure does. So yeah, if you have a baby that's under 12 months, just probably, you can try it, but I don't know how efficient it would be for you. If you have a toddler that's hard, remember, keeping routine. Keeping them busy during the day is really most important, because it tires and wears them out. If you're just chilling at home all day and not keeping them busy with activities or learning, they get bored and they just want to stay up and run your life. So that would be my only advice for you for that. I swear my makeup never takes this long, but when you're talking and doing makeup, it's just a lot different. Like, it never takes this long to do this type of face. Because this is the simplest beat I can possibly do. Like, no, seriously. Anyways, I hope you found my video enjoyable, and I hope you learned from it. And I want to do more of these mommy makeup talks. So let me know what you want to see.